Hi guys, it's MegaDragonoid. As you probably can see, I am playing not alone, but with two other persons. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Actually the trilogy, to be honest. And yeah, making things a little bit short. I was feeling like a little bit upset today, but I'm feeling a lot stronger now than before. Thanks to my buddies here. Hello.
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 Both are the wonderful brother I care a lot about, Justin, Just Parodies Man.
Hey.
And like you can kind of say country friend of mine, because we're living in the same land. It's Sira the Hedgehog.
Hello, guys.
We all, three of us, do drawings. We all kind of make videos. Justin does less. He does more writing than, well, gaming. Well, he does game more like with other people. But we still have fun all together.
Hey, don't give up on that yet. I might be bringing back my channel.
Ooh, I can't wait. Well, that means you will be also buying games, like new games, than only using free games?
Yeah, well, possibly. You never know.
That sounds really nifty. Then I will be watching you more. So yeah, if you like the content so far we're doing, like every kind of game you like, or if you want to suggest a game, you can always email me. I'm always open for game suggestions, as long as I can like legit normally pay for it, or at least get some way of form getting it. I will be willing to give it a try, except if it's zombie related or gore. I am kind of against that. Zombies, I might give it a try, but to a certain degree.
It is just emotional, of course, when your friend got eaten by a zombie.
Yeah. Blah, blah. And seeing like body parts hanging out, like your stomach hanging out, or arm hanging loose by a string, like yeah.
Eyeballs popping out.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Indeed. Like Five Nights at Freddy? I cannot really relate that to a zombie game. More horror, but not zombie. So yeah, without further ado, let's continue this. And by the way, we're making it, compared to last time, we're making this video, we're going to try to make it at least 2 hours. We're going to try to solve this case.
Yeah, I'm really eager to find out what's gonna happen.
Me too.
February 25, 12, 6 to record defended lobby number 2.
Again, number 2?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is number 2.
Pop. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a law on her, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. Top of that, you call me here. I have seen happier people at funerals. I think it's Lana having you run errands again. We tell you this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? This word was talking about just the other day.
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. He said if you were planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Guess I need to give this book a read. Friends laws, securely sitting into your pocket. Doesn't look like that book do you any good now, though. That's it. All that's left now is this chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me,
Mr. Edgeworth?
the real trial today hasn't begun yet.
What? What else is there left to do? You're crediting all but ruined this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma's guy found out to unwillingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me that you want more to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely struck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? We're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case hurt too many people. Time to bring it to an end. And I guess that's how Edgy is feeling too.
February 25, 12:52, district court, courtroom number 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is number 9.
Number 9.
That joke starts to get really heavy on it. Before we just start read this, I want to see that book. Rules of submitting evidence. Rule number 9. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence present must be relevant to the case of the trial. Okay, we kind of already knew this. Can we turn it around? Yet. Oh. Okay. The court now will be revoking for trial of Miss Lana Sky. There must be. Much better. This is much better. Still cool. Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
This inquiry committee is planning to impose the harsh penalties for your action.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Wow! He doesn't care anymore! This, well, only is where the prosecution calls for witness, but, isn't it easy to say? See, there's some concern that you, Mr. Ezra, may have a bargain. Sorry, I'll write it again.
You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
Perfectly. Just still setting up everything like after I got my PlayStation VR. It's like really finicky how I set everything up. Now much better. I didn't say that. Just you see, everyone has been talking and.
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? There's no precedent for what you proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one.
Give me a moment, guys. I'm getting a phone call.
Okay. Look how he's just tapping his one finger. Like, tick, tick, tick. Tick, 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 tick. One effective fairy butt. Can you read it from the other side? One effective fairy butt. Do you like to picture what I made for you? As Edgeworth. Did you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. It was really cool.
Same clothing.
Are you going to put it on DeviantArt? Maybe?
No, it's actually of course a thumbnail, but if you want it on DeviantArt, I can do that.
That would be cool.
I have my version there as well on it, so I can maybe put it in there. Tapping, 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 tapping. Tap, 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 tap.
In my room. What? My computer was turned off for some reason. Turned off? Yeah, and also strangely, the keyboard lights have been disabled, which you can only do if you press a certain sequence of buttons. Well, it certainly wasn't me. I wouldn't have a clue what those buttons are. Yeah, it kind of just seems like somebody stuck their paws on my lap. You touch my computer? She probably was looking for food and just happened to be looking up there. We're not trying to search up progress ourselves. Yeah, she got up there just to look for that, huh?
Well, good. I have good news, everybody.
What's up?
Tell me, you got father.
Well, next week, Wednesday, or upcoming Wednesday, how you want to call it, I'll be working again.
Nice.
You got a job again.
It's still the same job. Still the phone. At least I'm getting back to how it's supposed to be. Still with limitation of the coronavirus. I will be working 3 days.
Back on the trail.
Indeed. Chair gets my picture.
Getting back on the trail where he's off to.
Yep. There's a slight little problem and a slight not little problem. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm able to go working again and having a little spent time.
Just happened.
My phone isn't rebooting and it's getting really hot. Okay, there he is, finally. Okay. Let's continue where you were left.
Okay. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Wish I found a way to continue the trial.
Trail.
Very well. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecutor's proposal. Then it's settled. Then the defense may call forth the next witness. Bro?
Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
Defense calls. Time final come to bring out the real murderer. Gonna call. We have to present Demon Grant, apparently.
Demon Grant.
Damon Grant. The defense called Damon Grant to the stand. Damon Grant? What does he have to do with any... As the defendant partner 2 years ago, Damon Grant first handed the knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way.
Like, herp! My phone voice no.
Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. Alright. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Grant to the stand.
Mr. Grant to the stand.
Boing!
Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
But please.
Fine. My name is Damon Gaunt. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requires you to hear your testimony.
Oh, Righto, what's with the grim face?
First, clear up this SL9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There's still some unaccounted for.
Oh, like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave or very foolish.
We are brave men. Brave oath.
We are brave. Do, do, do.
You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Buddy, we will find the truth. You like it or not. We feel you're lying. We feel it.
Very odd that he hit the part of the jar and that other thing in that locker.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants
and
to.
in a safe as well.
Maybe he wants to protect the jar in that safe. Maybe he wants to protect Lana and Emma, maybe perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's your turn, bro.
Moment. Very well. The witness may now begin its testimony.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
And that's why Dark was arrested.
Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head.
I see, everything seems pretty clear cut. Police chief had tried to refuse to testify. Better hit him hard and fast. Right, guys?
Yep. It is.
What I really already find weird, that he had nothing to do with forgery, to be honest. And it's not because I'm reading this all like I have a guide I could probably follow. It just feels weird, to be honest. You figure it out. Like, apparently she already arranged the crime scene, so as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. I feel something is wrong with that. It sounds like pretty clear, but it doesn't. To be honest. Just put the factors on each other. There was forgery. Why was the jar gone? If we take a carefully remember from how the room was made, how can the knight in armor cause the vase to fall?
That is a good point. If the knight in shining armor was nowhere near the vase at the time, how did the person falling backwards make that vase fall? That is a good point.
There you go. There is a reason there's something missing. 1, 2. There. Now we're gonna present. You guys can pick the jar or the evidence list.
Does it matter which one?
Pretty much not. But you guys can pick. You think fits most. I'm gonna lower the music a bit because it's a little bit high. There we go. Just go for it. Which one do you think fits better? The jar or the list?
I think the jar, to be honest.
Yeah?
I think also.
Objection! Okay, now it's too soft again. I'm gonna slightly increase it again, but then to 7. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that's a claim you can back up.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of the evidence were found in your office. Take the jar for an example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier is actually found inside your desk. It was found where? See, Chief Gant. These article evidence uncovered in your office are both concept proof that you're also playing a part in this illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? I just got a message from my boss from work.
Oh! Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admitted then? That's where you involved in this in the forgery.
Who, me? Or do you mean you?
Me? What should I have anything to do with it?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence?
First, we didn't snuck, if we recall. It was the officer that let us in. That's not snucking.
True, but he was not supposed to let you in, so kind of did sneak in.
True. But
Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What?
what? Gumshoe. If the Detective Gumshoe's salary drops even further, he will end up paying to work. Yes, very well. In the light of the detective presence, please give us the testimony regarding to these pieces of evidence found in your office. They are related in relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Boing,
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 boing.
boing, boing.
Okay, I missed something. I can fix it. Okay.
Boing. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office.
Nope.
Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? An investigation in the crime scene. Should have been more careful about observers' help.
Observe!
Observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting till tomorrow for that? Days, well, you know.
Alright, Udgy. In return, no.
I know, the place, right? What are these guys telepathic? Okay, we have to press on this one. Yeah, we have to press. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one last benefit you reaped from all this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this a benefit?
That would be, of course, the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh? The resolution of the SL9 incident ensure your promotion to Chief itself is a different motive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Hashtag not sponsored by Monster Energy. That true, Edgeworth?
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Ah!
Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I.
Selfish. Literally selfish. Just look at his face. He's like, mm-mm.
Yeah, that's the one. Huh. Do I need to say more?
Myself and I. Lamaro! Same title!
It totally fits this.
Me, myself, and I.
Doesn't it?
Yep. There, it's out in the open now. Gee, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be accepting anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Sorry, buddy. You have to press one more time. Bam! Nothing in it for you?
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho ho ho! That's a good one, Worthy.
He almost sounds like Santa Claus. Ho 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 ho!
Oh, 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 Merry Christmas! Wait, it's summer! Merry summer!
Surf's up, dude!
It's actually winter for us.
Yeah, but you get the picture. Should there have been something in it for him? Giving his selfish would soon have helped him out. Still, you might not help out anyone for their sake. If there will be benefit for you, you might decide to assist someone. Right? It appears you're possibly determined on prostrated. Yeah, a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. It's not what. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
I mean, it makes sense.
You want to choose her?
Sorry?
You want to choose her?
It makes sense.
I'm following a guide, so it's basically saying that. Shall we, object?
Just do
Sounds
it.
good. Just do it, noob.
Objection! Job prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in the light of circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an emergent series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? For the Chief Gant, he should have also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Profit.
Profit, sorry. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed to Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Grant.
Boing.
But how could he... hell bro, I lost the word.
Profit.
Profit from
Profit.
all of this.
He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
It goes. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief formidable appearance plays puppets? Oh, wait! You must mean puppet as... I didn't press! I didn't press! Admit it, Chief. You assist Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appointed her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her.
Yeah.
Right, so my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana?
So you tried in your face.
For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana. Keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she's testifying against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof there are amounts of nothing more than contradiction. Sorry, I said it wrong.
Unless... that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Honest?
Webby, you'd better watch your tongue.
Joe.
Angel
Or
what? Angel is... She's not a detective anymore, but she was there for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on, bro.
Oh, sorry. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
What do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, that Chief Gant is involving in the murder of the woman. Not only that, Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his
Involvement.
involvement. What? Order, order, order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder, that is impossible. Your Honor, I merely help reiterating what Mr. Edwards said in easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
There's no turning back for us now.
Looks like he's the one decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? Chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder. Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then. Let's see, Mr. Wright. Wright got and better be good. Show us the evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. If I remember, the safe 7777777.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gonna slip my finger. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID card on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777.
Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
It's your number. What? How do you know that? Safe in Chief Grant's office requires a code to open. 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant. Oh, look at that! We burning him! We're burning him! Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order, order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gantz, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it?
Moment.
What's up?
I'm called for a moment. I have to say I'm recording. You can say it again, bro.
Okay. What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me. When you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, wouldn't he? He's...
Of course not.
Why
would he?
Look! He's denying it!
I hadn't said.
Angry.
Objection, buddy! You haven't seen him in days, Chief Grant? I'm afraid you just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilty.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth.
Wow, where is his anger face?
If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
And look at that sassy face.
Yes. I will spit some good barbecue sauce on that meat.
Indeed. In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. If I recall... what's that one, right? No, it wasn't. It was something. Here. I need to double check something. Can't remember if it was that. Can't see the number. Just good. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have to give that report to the chief of police.
Yet you are in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure if he filed it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him.
There is no other way to the murder, and Detective Goodman should have entered the room.
Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered Paul Goodman.
Yup, exactly. Oh wait, the chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. You just have lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
Whoa!
Yes, I know that face. you didn't.
Chief Gant, you didn't!
He's called threat. He's called threat. Or error. He's called threat.
The murder was most likely a spur of moment of crime, for none one then in the right mind could choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After that, the murder, you contact Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of the police. You have the entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it?
Yes.
Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office? I don't think so.
Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need. Prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. All this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us the evidence. Move the... I just figured out why the screwdriver was so important to this.
To move the victim's body, Chief Grant uses this.
What is a better way to unlock a trunk's door?
Screwdriver.
apart from the key,
Aside from a key, you need something to whip it open.
Screwdriver.
Only way. It's the only way.
if you think so, bro.
Well, there's also another possibility. Where is it? This.
In lot card.
The only way. He used Miles. He used Miles. And he used a screwdriver before Miles knew it. He put the body into his car while everybody else was doing something else. He placed his Detective Goodman's body in there. Closed the trunk. Gave the screwdriver back, towards Miles. And let him drive back. As soon as he knew Miles was back and upstairs, he called Lana up to do it. This is how you move Detective Goodman's body. What's that? Screwdriver? What does that have to mean with this case? Miles Edward, think back of the day of the crime. What was this screwdriver doing here?
It's here because... I was asked to go by Chief Gaunt, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean
Body was found in the trunk of Miss Edward's car. I think it was obvious what happened. Body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried into the trunk of Miss Edward's car. How was I knowing this? Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else should you have asked Miss Edward to transport the evidence from a closed case? There's only one possible explanation: to transport a body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! What's going on here? There's no room for a rebuttal to the defendant's outrageous accusations. Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed into the car by taking away. It was actually the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special.
But the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? That's not a right to be casual invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this?
Running away all from your problem.
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stand old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Well,
You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I will say again, Miss Wright. Damon Grant is the current chief of police. The court will not tolerate any accusations against him without considered proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you have any considered proof? Proof that Chief Grant, the murder detective, Goodman and made guy to dispose of his body? Do I have a convincing proof? Nope. No use showing him evidence that I don't sure myself. No, Your Honor. At the present, I don't have a considered evidence.
See, Archie?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your accusation against the chief. What?
Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, actually, I'll leave the rest to you. Well, that didn't work.
Well, I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This for a senior officer in the nation law enforcement is. What?
Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Miss Azure, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
Lady who knows the truth? On a witness?
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
Chief Gant is voted his right to refuse his testifying.
There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? I not to be willing to tell the truth. We can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. Defendant calls forth.
Lana Sky, age 29.
The defendant? Miss Lana Sky? He was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21. Theirs was to dispose of the victim's body, according with a certain one's orders. Edworth?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. 15 minutes will revoke. We convince to hear the defendant's testimony. This court will now
Hold on.
Huh? Oh, it's him again!
I thought we were going to eat.
Chief Kent, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana.
Talking to Lana?
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. Hmm?
He's treating her.
That's right.
He's threatening her.
Yeah.
Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
Shoving in somebody else's shoe.
This isn't good.
Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet.
Okay, if there are no further objections, this court is now in recess. Oh, shit!
February 25, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Recess! Dude, this is not good. The chief is threatening Lana. Even Edward is not happy.
Time to bring out the mana weenies!
Weenies?
Yeah.
Where?
Beefies.
Oh. Dom 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 dom.
Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry about it. I already decided where to work now. At your office? My office? Sure. I will take the place of that other girl you used to work with. I think he's talking about Maya. I mean
Emma.
Right?
Oh, she.
We need she.
Maya.
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. You can't done it again. Because you always get the upper hand. Not fair, he uses the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said?
Chief, that's not the right. We casually invoked it. There are certain risks to be considered. Risk? What do you mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds truth.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too?
Hey!
Good guess.
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in a medical office. I've been listening to the trail from the gallery.
So she heard everything that was been going on. Emma, I'm sorry what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think it all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by a terrible man. And she did it all. Just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed.
Sorry.
Burp.
Something went a little bit wrong in my
Throat.
yeah.
Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean, pal?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Guard's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do.
Must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you're gonna want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Kent may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery. But he can't fool my memory. I remember now, I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see. Oh, we better get going. Get back. And time for the final act. Come on, why don't you wait here?
No, I'm going with you.
Wow!
I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this.
To be continued.
Yeah, sure, let's save.
In case.
There we go.
Be 25 to 21 p.m. District Court, Courtroom number 9. Ladies and gentlemen, this is number 9.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana, please take the stand?
Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you're under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course.
Handle the
Truth.
truth.
Anna, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Grant. It hangs on your testimony. You're not the only one you're the only chance we have to get Gant. Yeah. Yellow.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth of his blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get the dog convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course, I'm sure. But
This is true, then it means that Chief Grant has nothing to do with this.
that's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
What if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, this is no time for start second guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Pip, 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 pip. 1, 2, 3. Bada bing, bada. Ahoo! You say you did this all by yourself?
Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
Seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken producer's award knife was stuck into the victim's body.
What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident.
That only the situation you dreamed was possible.
Huh?
It really is. It wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. White, but I never changed this testament.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wounded up by killing by Dark?
Something like that.
If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon?
This is Justin's line.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yes. Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away from the struggle.
Not how it went down. Trying to cover up her lies from more lies.
Just to protect me.
When you found a scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dog's knife, planted it inside the wound, and moved the body. Oh my god, he moved the body.
Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You always had a good head on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it isn't that bad, but maybe I would ask for the sake of the others. When you showed up the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where I deducted it was by Chief Gan's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that was simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more details. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
Piece of the jar that shattered during the event threatened my plan.
Give me a moment. I a little bit of messages because I'm getting a lot of spams again. I don't like these spams. No, I'm supposedly not doing this, but it was getting heavy. There we go. This guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where where Neil Marshall was murdered. The truth were to be exposed now. The past 2 years of your life will have to be in vain. Even so, I compiled to bring everyone's attention. Significant contradiction with your testimony.
An contradiction in my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "Pieces of the jar that scattered during the events were threatened by my plan."
That's right.
You have a problem with that? Simply oversight, really. See, a message was written on the jar with the victim's body's blood.
Yes, the persecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. So and this is where the contradiction lies.
Huh?
In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have yet been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order, order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
Chief, actually right. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. Hey, the fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one that who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief persecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. That word.
I immediately... Okay.
The green ones you never have to read again. Objection, buddy! Wait, lady? Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you weren't aware of.
What?
We found the final piece at this jar in the Chief Gant's safe.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it. She really didn't knew.
No.
No. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. That was still blood on it.
That's the planet evidence. The chief did it.
Yeah.
To point fingers at Lana.
Eat.
Ah, what a meanie one.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
But did she get all the pieces?
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night of the prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant not have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. Pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. It might well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I was once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. But
Justin.
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived here at the scene, the jar was already broken.
oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Grant at the time he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, question if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Your Honor, can you answer us that?
Oh, like that.
Wait, not the one file here.
Damon Gaunt arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence. Why should Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
Donnie. Donnie.
I'm just reading something. I'm gonna make a safety save. What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim.
But guess what?
Determined to help her sister, she sought Gaunt's aid. Lending her his aid, Gaunt helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark. Sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. Ow, that would have hurt.
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
her finger really hard, like.
Yeah, kan niet beginnen broken in. No, I did it on my own. Please, Ed, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore, like, and this is say for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. White says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies? And that coming from my own client. And I guess you could do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Dylan is jacked up in crap. Right? Lana. Be right after all.
What do you mean, right?
So you do tell full lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more.
But
Evidence was fabricated behind your back. Emma's accidentally killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Skye, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth.
Very well. I testify about what I really saw.
Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor sword. Emma and Doc were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence and linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me to remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was implanted on the armor sword.
You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What?
It's a picture I took from the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Is it not the picture when she was standing with the other ones?
I don't remember receiving any picture from Lana. She said she gave it this morning. That picture you are talking about isn't relative to this morning. It's just relative to yesterday.
Oh.
I reckon they're talking about the book.
Uh-huh.
But there was no... Eh?
No, indeed. I must remember getting something her then. Check that evidence again. Must be a picture in there somewhere.
That's
Remember?
my line.
Yeah,
that's my line.
You can say it if you want. It's still there on the screen.
There must be a picture in there somewhere. Open the book. There! Hey! There's another picture here.
That was my line.
I
don't mind.
Oh God. Oh my.
Wait, do you see this part too? This?
Oh my God. Strike into the heart.
You think it came from the code, bro?
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Take a good look. Take a good look.
It's not in the same shape though, that's the problem.
Indeed, but maybe it's been altered, fabricated.
That is true. That's a possibility.
Remember that we found, and it is written on it, Bears Emma Sky's prints.
This is the actual crime scene. No other detectives saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I re-engined everything.
Okay.
Is that right? The piece cut out from his vest, could it be? Yeah.
Ah, you got it, bro.
Yep. Cloth we found inside Chief Grant's safe.
Uh-huh.
This. Yeah.
Footprint, isn't it? Glove. It had fingerprints on it. Who's there for fingerprints? That must be the real murderer. No.
What? Those fingerprints.
Lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright. Lol.
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Very well. Depends, mate.
I just gotta go to the toilet.
Okay. The cloth was actually used for Must I do this?
Sure, go ahead.
Come now, Gee. This is the poorest excuse a trail I ever seen.
You've got.
What? Now you want me make it out to be the bad guy too? If so, I like to put into a word of two in my defense.
Doing.
Boing. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you're forfeit your right to make statements of any sort.
Must be the risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, take some popcorn, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck.
This is actually kind of an anime show, just a bit more, a bit.
Worried? What did he say? Did it sound like him?
Kinda, yeah.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will all do the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present an evidence.
Yes, that's
I'm
true.
back.
Wait,
I'll
you
go.
mean still have some evidence?
Go ahead, Justin. He's back.
Oh, he is back.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He doesn't like accept like his punishment. Still, he's like ignoring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't. But someone does.
So
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death?
The fingerprints. Oh no.
Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt?
That's the reason for that. I'm doing that. We'll find out. Is that true, Mr.? Show that piece of evidence now. Sure will be made out of murder. Right. If you have any evidence, send it now. If you try to conceal anything, it will be on appearing before the board. Jury. Think this through carefully and can't afford to make a wrong decision. 5% evidence. Again? You guys gonna choose. I know the answer, but I'm not saying what we're gonna do.
Of course, that evidence was actually planted in there by the chief.
Mm-hmm.
How this can be possible that Emma can kill a guy with brute force towards the night?
Eat.
She was 14 or 12 during that time.
Indeed.
She wasn't strong enough to push a full-grown man into that statue.
Eat. But what do you guys wanna show the evidence or don't? Yes.
I think you should. I mean, you might get in trouble if you don't.
Sira?
I'm not sure. Sorry.
So we have one neutral and one say yes. Okay, we're going for yes then. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence.
All right, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints got to be chiefs. No, planted by chief.
Now then, let's see this convenient evidence. Evidence that show actually that it's a piece of leather, cloth. Yes, mostly was cut out of the victim's vest near his chest.
What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword.
What? Whose fingerprints are on this?
I'm sure Wright has checked, haven't you?
Well, who are they? They are Miss Emma Skies.
Am I? So I really did do it.
See, I told you it was conclusive.
But it was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Huh?
I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that?
Are you sure about that?
But
Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death.
no. It appears we have our killer.
Why don't they? She cannot
No!
be. She's not a killer. Guilty.
Whoops. My bad, bro.
Game over.
Now you understand why I saved.
Yeah, at the end.
For honor, I don't have any evidence spent at the time.
What? You lie.
You can't.
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside.
And now he's denying it. How can he know that we opened his safe?
Well, we did say in the previous investigation.
True.
The conclusive evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
No, because if we take a closer look, actually... I'm gonna make this very narrowed down. Okay, so what if Emma Sky did kill him? Lana was the first one to notice. Shouldn't that piece of cloth will still be there?
Well, she said she took a picture of the crime when she arrived, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why is there a piece of cloth missing?
Because our chief just cut it out. So
he
was
forged.
So maybe he worked together with that other serial killer to free, of course, to escape from him. And he was not in panic that he escaped, but he got help to escaping from that kind of a questioning day. So when he entered into that office, he was trying to kill Lana, or Emma.
Indeed.
But because the chief saw some chance to escape it from himself, he just actually maybe pushed him and took, of course, Emma's fingerprints to make her the murderer instead of him.
See the picture, bro?
Possible. It is very possible.
What a clever bastard.
What are you talking about, Chief Gaunt? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area?
It looks like a part of it is being cut out for some.
You mean you had this in your safe?
What?
Yes.
That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence? Going to be a big scandal in the history of the police department.
Police department. Ooh.
Now he's getting a penalty.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you will admit it? Quit?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were the manipulating her.
I knew Lana. If I made it to look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you.
Evidence in those 2 items in your safe. But why?
For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Ho 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 ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Raito, cuff it up already. I know you have it.
Right.
You admitted it, and can't. You were the one hiding the cloth cut out of the victim's vest in your safe.
Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that. Being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Right, do you have to say for yourself? A moment ago you said you didn't have to defend.
Foolish move, Raito. You should have shown it then before it was too late.
Yeah, but we had to pull it out first. Long battle. Moment of truth has finally arrived. Don't mess it up here, the victory is mine. Make sure, in case it goes bad again. Your Honor, I do have the evidence and now. Alright, then let's see this conclusive evidence. Evidence that shows who actually Prosecutor Marshall. He verified this once. Day of the crime. Firstly cut out the victim's vest.
Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on it.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that he immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. That's not good. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Raito had all this time to present this evidence. If he was reluctant to do so, why would that be? You mean you already knew? You knew whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
However, the fingerprints must belong to murder. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I will tell you. Should be okay now. Meaning as per whole finger belongs to is
It's Emma, isn't it?
oh, no, wait. Emma Sky?
What? They're mine?
Sorry, Emma.
But why? Why did you tell me?
Oh ho ho ho! You're really something, Raito. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me.
Oh, it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did show Prosecutor Marshall death.
How could you? You monster!
This guy.
You know Woe's fingerprint stores were all along, yet you acted like she's really didn't.
This guy. Not over yet.
What?
That this trial isn't.
Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. Oh, have your badge, boy. What's the matter, cat? Got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer?
Before I do that, one little thing I have to clear up.
Oh, and what's that?
Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Again, you're absolutely right. Piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Killed Neil Marshall. Was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. See, piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about?
talking about the contradiction. One that proves the real killer is. Yeah,
The
I'm
one
wondering
has
too.
The one have gloves on and just pointing fingers at Emma.
Yep. Right, that piece of cloth. That could be possibly contradict. Can't you? No, the piece of evidence contradicts this cloth.
The gloves?
The picture?
What exactly is this supposed to be?
Bro.
Was
Oh,
his
that's-
line?
Sorry, you can take this one.
This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it.
Beware the piece of cloth in his vest was cut out. Yes, his shirt is showing on. Hard to make all the blood on his vest though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's natural. Lungs, no doubt, were penetrated. Blood poured out his mouth.
Then a piece of cloth must be also covered in blood, but it is wiped out.
What is it? It
And
would have
put their
definitely.
fingerprints so deep on.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, no blood on it. Emma's
Sorry.
guy's fingerprints are on this cloth. No doubt she shoved prosecutor's side. However, Miss Marshall was implanted on that sword at the time.
No! This is nonsense!
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Are you up for the fight?
Nice one.
I know.
1, 2, 3, fight!
Round 1, fight! Actually, round 3 because his last fight. Prosecutor Marshall was not implanted when he shoved side.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
So then tell me, who could have been? Who arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious implanted on him on the armor's sword.
Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, third person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember when you admitted it moments ago. You personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's chest. Ironic, is it? Not to its very act of its creating appearance. Proving that you were the actual murderer.
No!
Wow, that's the first one!
No! Like that.
Finally,
We won! We won! Sweating. He's sweating. Cold sweat.
okay,
Cold
that's a
sweat.
new one!
Cold sweat!
Let's put some ice on him! Ice is gone.
You almost had me. That was close, Righto.
They're still online, bro.
I said both,
Oh, okay, I didn't hear.
just not in the right order. Sorry. Sorry, but you have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refuted his?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. Do I need to read this again, bro? I mean, this was just moments ago. Okay.
We didn't say in time. We didn't say we didn't had it.
That's true. Ooh.
So we didn't conceal it.
Nailed it.
Well, that's true. Anna did refuse to send the evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But it's not fair.
Hoo. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
You think you got me, you officer? You really think you got me? Sorry, but I have to pull the strings on you, little man. Sorry, I had to do that one. I'm afraid Ms. Gann's claims is legally correct. Oh, Miss Edgeworth?
True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Oh, Mr. Wright? Seems at last. Time for me to do my plan has finally arrived. Right, do you admit it to it? You proposed fully and illegally concealed piece of cloth. Again, we're gonna just make a safety save because we want to finish this trial. Even we're way over time. We're already like 2 hours and 20 minutes in. Oh, we're gonna finish this today. Today. I'm saying.
Bonus.
It's a bonus over a bonus.
Content.
It's a bonus content above a bonus content. Wait, what? Remember what I said last time? We were making from 1 hour and a half. We're making it 2 hours, so that's already half-hour bonus, and now it's like a 20 minutes bonus already.
This is sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero.
And Monster Energy. Hashtag not sponsored. I did not. I admit, I refused to pretend at one point.
Aha! So the evidence is illegal.
Not really.
Objection, buddy! No, it isn't, Mr. Kent, or must I say, Mr. Officer?
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It was like... It's that I couldn't. Sorry, I had to put that voice off for a bit. What do you mean you couldn't? There's a certain procedures involved when you're presenting evidence.
No, Ajit, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe... There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Whether you refuse to present the evidence, can't prove your conviction was not valid of some law, then do so now.
The rule book.
Uh-huh. Let's check it again. Rules of submitting evidence. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. We weren't allowed to prove it yet. If we remember.
Is that the thing? Yeah, okay. If you say so, bro.
And then he said we had it, so we were... Like, it was unregistered.
And him admitting that we had it, him actually saying out loud that we had it, and saying what it was.
Yeah, but it was still unregistered evidence. And now it's unregistered, that must be relevant to the case on trial. Or at least we did that right. Right order, actually. Not sure.
But I think you are correct. The book has something to do with it.
This is my proof, Your Honor. The evidence law. Wait, I need to do it correctly. Give me a book. Not the plate, you dumbass!
Justin, while you was gone at the bathroom, I was actually doing Mr. Edgeworth and the chief. It was so hilarious.
I believe you.
Yeah. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. Now sponsored.
Give me a...
You should be hyped about this. Oh.
Okay. And this is my proof, Your Honor. The evidence law. The evidence law. So there we go.
At least somebody is having a happy feeling right now.
Yep.
What's this?
More like, what's this? What's this?
I have done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. And the cloth.
Merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
No.
Good luck. Hearing then. It's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Bro?
Oh, the struggle is real.
Giving him some other voice just for fun. Bonus content, bonus content, bonus content. Give him a funny voice. Something, or like maybe a Batman voice.
What, bro?
A Batman voice. You know, I'm Batman.
Oh, okay, I'll give it a try. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Perfect! I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. What do you say about that, officer? Goes without saying, I did not prove from the police department.
Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance. You see the problem, you so-called officer? so-called chief. Between the
Chiefy
cloth and the
off.
SL9 incidents.
What kind of nonsense is this?
More like, what?
You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Objection, you little whiny bitch.
Whiny baby.
Sorry, but you can't really recall when was that picture presented.
Was by
It was
Lana.
shown only a few moments ago.
No,
Wah, wah, wah.
he's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave the value as evidence was you, Damon Grant. Damon Gant, sorry.
Busted! Busted! You coward fool! Coward to one.
You yourself confess to a certain truth.
We know what song we need to put this on. Remember what he said?
Yeah. How did you know about you took that piece of cloth that on the other thing in the safe?
Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. I.
I only take care of me, myself, and I.
Indeed. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh yes. No! It was then that you proved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut out this from the victim's vest, the only one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. Only one person who could be Damon Grant. The killer was you.
No, no, no.
Oh my god!
I knew I should have gotten rid of him.
That laugh.
That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman?
Yeah, that's right.
If the evidence is transferred, I will lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. You know, partner, you know you need to do what is right.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room.
He admits it! Finally!
Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out.
Don't have to do any more of this. Finally done.
What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the... No, that's Goodman. Let me do that one.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
please reopen the investigation, Chief? Can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said,
It's not too late. Going to hand all this over to Marshall.
well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife.
He stabbed him with it. Oh.
I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The blood handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crying computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body.
That's important.
I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Grrr.
Leaving the prosecutor's car aside. How could you get Miss Guy involved in all of this?
Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So you left the jar fragments off.
Yes. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They did their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon closer examination. He must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals? I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji.
What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. Sorry to learn that you're no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Aji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
That's your line, bro.
Now you have Raito here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning.
There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes.
First, sister never hurt anyone. Second, Demon Grant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky? You no longer have any reason to be silent.
You're right. When this trail's over, I tell everything. All I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, seems all the questioning raised to this trial have been answered. Sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get to all of your trouble.
My, what high standards you have for a rookie.
Huh?
I can't see why Mia coughed up highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now on you might make it to the top.
Wow, she smiles!
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky.
And you too, Miss Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of the audience has been for you.
It was nothing.
Liar.
I was worried too soon might break you. And yet, you rose above all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job.
In light of the case, seems the self-examination is in order for all of us. Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're innocent of the murder, however. Although the chief blackmailed you in the fact you still acted as his bro?
Accomplice.
Accomplice? Trial of the scheduled for these crimes at a later day.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
There's something assuming about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free from these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone far too long already. Regarding the charge of... Sorry?
Agreed.
Yeah. The charge of the murder. Disqualifying the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Bam!
Yay!
That is all. The court is adjourned.
We won! We won! February 25, 3 p.m. Discord card. Defendant lobby number 1. Number 2.
Last. Finally over. Woo!
Let's grab beer. Let's grab
Beer. I drink it well back with my dad. Burp. Huh? Quite a long face. Sorry, you didn't completely off the hook. At least she wasn't convicted for the murder she committed.
No, that's not it! Just now, after the trail ended, I can see why Mia Fey fought so highly for you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've been suffered every bit as much I have ordered those past few days. You done well.
Almost 3 hours. We have made double time.
You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hi.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Wait, where's the cowboy? I'm missing him.
And Angel. Huh?
Oh, I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? And here we go again! Are you doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around on duty? On top of that, you can call me here. You call me here. Happier people. I'm seeing you. Happier people at funerals. You're lighting up, pals. Only kidding.
Oh? Are you here because of my sister again?
Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
Right. I thought you liked to see someone.
No!
He doing this? Still on arrest, you know. Oh, I wouldn't tell you if you wouldn't.
Emma, I owe you an apology.
Always try.
It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. Huh? Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could to keep myself from screaming. All I think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sir, I ask again to help me cover up the truth. I thought it was doing it for your sake. But now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I know how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared that you look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you react if you knew. But sis, you're the only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to tell the truth. I was deceiving you. Sir, I'm such a fool. It took me all of the time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sister, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course! You know, sister, I always knew that the day you'd come back. And now you have! Oh, Emma. Aww. Screenshot this. No one can change the past. No.
I don't think we need any more evidence, bro. I think everything's been resolved.
Well, there's something here. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive up for making up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because doing so, we can find the way back to the rightful path. From where we can move towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt for just this up.
Mr. Wright.
There's not a mister.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all of you done. I'm sure we will meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth?
That's me.
Edgeworth.
That's yours.
Stop hiding and come over here. Somebody's
Where was he
hiding.
hiding?
He's shy.
I just came to say. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Wow. Bye. Just disappear.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me.
Bro,
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Guard was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me were the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I planned to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
it worked.
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Guard did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma. Were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both make the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trail. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence and otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What? Yeah, this, of course.
Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about.
Something that neither Edgeworth or I should able to own.
A picture, perhaps?
Oh, this? He had one half, and we found the other half.
Yeah, that's right.
Won't you agree, bro?
Well, true, yes, that is true.
Objection!
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had the other half of the evidence, and I had the other. Or we could have been able to complete restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
Bro?
It's time for me to go.
Edgeworth?
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Edgeworth, what do you do now?
What?
Whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill a prosecutor in you. Or you can let it happen and help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you.
Farewell.
Bye-bye.
Let's go.
I better get going too. Okay. But I'll be by the visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sister. I will.
So, another case came to a close. For the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives only had just begun. I think it's time I started my own journey. On my own.
To grab a beer.
Bear.
Here.
Trying to recover myself. Well,
Hey.
don't trigger me off yet. Well, huh? This is detective. It's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. He isn't supposed to be out of jail, like.
But I thought you said it was okay. Wait.
I just want to say it was my lie. I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to keep her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh?
Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah!
Well, yeah, well, haha, you will see. Right here is the one who's footing the bill. Huh? What? You think I could afford doing my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it? Why do I feel like I want to scream? Yeah, I got an idea. Why don't we... Well, I'll pay it off together.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Finally, the first part's done. How far
That
are
was
we in?
insane.
We're literally almost on 3 hours.
I arranged for a friend of mine into Europe. Take care. I
I
hope.
put the controller away. I put him away.
As for me, this is fair. I've pretty much ended my days at the prosecutors. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crime together with Anna.
Damn. But it's so good that we finished the first game of the trilogy. We're missing actually 2 balls still, but we can do that next time. Yikes! I thought I was going to be gone for in the end, though. Look, they overlooked my authority investigation. I'll lie to you anymore. It will be they're firing you. What they said. Goes to the show. You can't shake me off that easily. This has really been amazing how we have done all of this so far.
Yeah, after this I need to shower.
And I should head to bed.
Yeah. Hey, there's Meekins again.
Oh, wait. My name is Scott. Interested in really? Can you believe that I've been about a security guard? My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. And so observe, someday I'm going to be detective.
Ah, there he goes again.
Dexter got you.
He hasn't learned to put that microphone away. Oh, fuck, I did it again.
Motherfucker. Hello, dudes. I'll give you a yellow flag.
Okay, I didn't expect it that, to be honest.
Fatality. Flawless victory.
What is it? Can you see I'm having a showdown with my steak lunch partner? This car managed to sneak at this one, being one of the guards, it seems. Oh, cowboy, it looks like you did it. We gave Marina back her smile. Can make sure Billy and her gang get her war. I feel so heavy.
Looks like we don't have been seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal in the menu, the White Way. A top layer tastes a little better to defeat upon a bottom layer, sweet as victory. Get deemed addicted turn about your team, but not as about the exam title. Just make sure you not eat it backwards.
Yeah! Nice, boy, nice!
Oh, you need to read that fast.
I can tell! Oh, my turn again. I never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see you. He was his name again. Mr. Left. Anyway, he's been doing something or the other. How many years? Anyway, I have gotten on trial to the huh? Oh no, I've forgotten my grail. Oh, I gotta go. Gotta go. Gone. At least we can have a little bit more fun with this one. Hey!
Oh, I think we lost Sira.
Oh wait, sorry.
That's okay.
See you around, Nick. My internet got broken connection. Yeah. God.
Oh.
I'm here.
Oh boy.
Oh, this guy.
I brought you up some tea. What's going on?
He took his He took his resign in. He made it finished. Resigned himself.
Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thanks you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I will be all right. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Okay.
Yeah, open the book. Here's a picture. Or letter. Oh, look at that! So adorable. So adorable. Capcom. Comcap. Comcap. Pursue
I
it.
have to just check which game we're hitting next, so we know what we're hitting. Okay, so that will be the next one we will be playing. We're gonna play.
Justice for all.
That's gonna be a while to do that one.
No, don't worry about it.
Just gonna check. Oh no, not him again! Oh fuck, we have him again!
Wait. Right, Mr. Chief?
No, it's actually the first guy we have done. Remember him, bro?
Yeah, I think I do remember him.
I'm gonna give you
Who?
the spoiler. Okay, I'm
Who?
gonna give you both the spoiler, but...
Just show me who it is.
Search up the lawyer, the prosecutor lawyer. Don't tell his name.
Looks like a monkey.
He does, huh? Remember him, bro? He was in the very first case.
The prosecution lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, okay. I've seen him.
It's a monkey.
Were we in sync somehow?
We're a sage.
So yeah,
Well, shall
guys,
we-
this is it for now. From like actually what supposed to be only a 2-hour, actually, it got double the time as original planned. This was a nice closure for the first game from the trilogy. So the next one will be this. So
Justice for all.
indeed. So I wish you all a good day, a good week. And if you like the content, feel free to leave a follow or subscribe. It's free of charge. You can also go to twitch.tv/MegaDragonoid. That's where I'll be streaming. And if you feel like seeing our art, go to DeviantArt. Easy to find. And just go to MegaDragonoid, Dr. Chester the First, or Sira the Hedgehog, what you prefer as choice. And yeah, you can also leave a question below, or if you want to suggest a game, leave an email behind. Well, an email me. Because maybe I will look into it. I will maybe see a game we can play. Well, that's it for now, and we will see you next time. Peace!
Peace.
Hmm.